Hello everyone, I'm RecV5.
Yes, and RecV5 is going to sit in as a guest co-commentator on this episode of The Adventures of G913, the Escaped Institute Synth.
Indeed.
And right now, what we're looking at is a holotape called Scavr Phil's Journal. And it is part of a mod that RecV5X and I have been working on, called Sandman's Alchemy. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to pick this holotape up and play it. We could put it in the terminal just as easily, but we'll read it in the Pip-Boy. And it says, "Welcome, Scavr Phil." And the first entry says Sanctuary Hills Ruins. So, Scavr Phil always delivers. I had to haggle with the old man at Bunker Hill for my fee, but now I think I can prove to the old cheapskate I was right. Sanctuary is just full of valuable salvage. Just walking across the bridge and looking through some of the windows of a couple of houses, I could see all the kinds of good stuff, copper, circuitry, and glass just to start. I even found an old terminal in one of the houses that looks like it might work. I'll camp in here tonight, and maybe see about hooking up some kind of power tomorrow. A working terminal will fetch some good caps. And the next entry says, "Weird book." The terminal works. I found a power cell, you know, one of those long-term nuclear batteries they used to make before the war. When I took the cover of the terminal off and blew all the dust out, there was a slot in the motherboard that the energy cell I found just popped right into. Go figure. It looks like the guy who used to live here was some kind of chem dealer. Funny how paranoid he sounded in some of his journal entries, like chem dealing used to be illegal or something.
Ha!
When I opened the safe next to the desk, I found a weird old book. It looked really old. I mean, this book looked like it was really old 200 years ago before the bombs. Some of the pages cracked when I turned them. It is really fragile, so I will have to be careful with it. Maybe a book this old could be worth some caps. Reading it will give me something to do at night before sleep. And then the next entry says Alchemy. The book I found is older than I thought. It is hard to read because of the way it is written, with these and thous everywhere. Nobody has talked like that for hundreds and hundreds of years. Anyway, the book is about something called alchemy and has a bunch of recipes to make things called potions. It looks like there are a lot of different kinds of potions. Some of the recipes are weird though, and I don't think some of the ingredients exist anymore. I think I could make a lot of the potions myself at a regular chem station, so long as I could substitute some modern day items for some of the old ingredients described in the book. The book is so fragile, I think I will copy the recipes from it into this holotape. It is a real pain in the ass to type with 2 thumbs on the miniature keyboard on my holotape recorder, but the voice pickup seems to have stopped working. Maybe Deb will have a new recorder for sale when I get back to Bunker Hill.
Click, 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 click. Got those big Scavr thumbs.
Yeah. So, alchemy recipes, blah, 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 technical stuff, blah, 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 ingredients, blah, 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 more technical stuff. And then finally, the last entry, bitten. A rat roach bit me on the foot the other day. Little bastard ran out of that debris pile of a ruined house near the bridge, bit right through my boot, and then scuttled back under the debris pile to hide. It did not seem too bad at the time, but now my foot is swelled up so big I can't put my boot on, and I can hardly walk. I'm going to try to find some antibiotics in one of the ruined houses, the one I have not looked in yet, at the end of the street. I hope I find something. I'll never make it past the raiders in Concord in this condition if I try to go for help.
Ah, there's no antibiotics around here.
Yeah, well, that's probably why you found a skeleton behind the stove in that last house at the end of the block, too.
Yeah.
With no boots on, right? It has the remnants of clothing, but there's no shoes or boots to be seen anywhere. So anyway, and of course, we'll unlock this terminal just to get the XPs for it. The 3 XPs that I'll get. Oh, I got 5 XPs. And it has all the usual entries that are in there for vanilla, but you can read the tape on the terminal as well if you want to load it into the terminal. I just read it on the Pip-Boy because the picture is a little bigger and it's easier to read. So anyway, we're wandering around here in Sanctuary, and I am now going to do the little trick that I talked about in the last episode. I have the mod scrap everything unchecked right now. So if I go into the console and I type in workshop budget and hit enter, crash the game.
Crash the desktop.
Okay, we're back. And it looks like for some reason I can't use workshop budget anymore, but the scrap all command works without crashing the game. So that's what I used. It's basically you go in the console and you type SCRAPALL and then hit enter.
It'll save you a bit of time.
Yeah. And of course what it did too is it removed all of the workbenches. And it also scrapped everything that vanilla-wise is eligible for scrapping.
Yeah.
But since I've now reactivated scrap everything, well, there's lots of things here in Sanctuary, such as this hedge and this shrub that did not get scrapped, of course, because those were not scrappable objects in vanilla.
Yep.
But that is what the settlement scrap bot is for. Now, we can build a Mr. Salvage station pad, which we will do, and we'll put it right there. And then, when you look at it here, we'll just get out of the console for a second. You look at it here, and you set salvage defaults, and you select all of the things that you want your salvage scrap bot to scrap. Whoops. And it's kind of a pain, but you have to scroll through this entire thing here and basically activate everything that there's parentheses around so that there are no parentheses, and then it will scrap all of those items. So it says not wooden barrels. I click on it, and now it says wooden barrels, and so on.
And this is just so you can scrap all the extra stuff made available to you with scrap everything without creating holes in the world and such, right?
Probably. I don't know all the technical ins and outs of this mod. I mean, the guy who made it obviously is pretty knowledgeable and skilled at this sort of thing. But he also probably wanted you to have a little bit of flexibility because maybe for some reason you didn't want to scrap chain link fencing or
Ruin
whatever,
houses,
right?
Or whatever else.
Yeah. You might have for some reason wanted to keep those things. Anyway, then you can click begin salvaging, and eventually you'll hear a beep, and these white lights here will turn green, and the robot will wander around in the settlement until it has scrapped most of the other debris and eligible type items for scrapping.
Takes a minute or two to start up, but yep.
Okay, and it takes a minute or two to start up. And of course, in the meantime, we can do things like bring back our workbenches, which also got scrapped in the process of doing all this. And we can also get rid of a couple of annoying things like this NPC kneel and hammer vertically. We can scrap that, and now you won't have an NPC kneeling on the floor here, hammering on the wall with a hammer.
But the wall, it's in perfectly bad condition. It needs to be hammered on.
And you can do it here and get rid of it there. Because these guys tend to be also in the way when you're trying to do things. You know, like place furniture and that kind of stuff. It's kind of a pain in the ass if you got some guy standing there swinging a hammer at a wall for no apparent reason. I'll just scrap that hedge since it's in the way. There was another one there, and we'll run around the back here. By the way, it's not absolutely necessary to use the scrap all command. It's just something that I'll do sometimes when I don't feel like going through and scrapping manually everything.
Yeah.
Because the scrap bot, believe it or not, it does pick up and scrap an awful lot of stuff in your settlement, but it doesn't get it all. And even now, it won't get everything that's left here. I'm going to have to go around and scrap the things that it misses once it's done.
Yeah.
So as you can see now, the lights on the little platform are green, and the robot is out cruising around in the settlement here somewhere. There he is off in the distance there, and he's going to go around and scrap anything that is scrappable, marked as scrappable, that didn't get scrapped when I did the console command to do so.
Yep.
Anyway, in the meantime, we may as well bring back our workbenches. By the way, the scrap all command also scraps all the furniture and everything too, so you basically start with a fresh, clean slate.
Yep, completely empty.
Completely empty. So, anyway, here are the console commands to bring back the workbenches. So you gotta go player dot place at me. And then the code for the weapons workbench is 0017 E787. E787. And there's a weapons workbench.
It's a little sunk into the floor.
It is a little sunk into the floor, but that's okay. I'm just going to scrap this fire extinguisher holder because it's in the way.
I wonder what would happen if you tried to use a workbench like that.
I don't know.
Would you get stuck
Probably
on the floor?
not, because what'll happen is if you go to try and use a workbench that is in a crowded area where there's not enough room for you to stand in front of it, it won't let you do that either. So now we can just repeat the same command, because a lot of these start with the same 3 digits. And so now if we replace the last 5 digits with 57FEB, 57FEB, now we have a power armor station, which was over here. So we'll just put that back over here where it was, kind of, sort of. And then we can go back into the console again. And next we'll type in 2EA9B. 2EA9B. And there's our armor workbench, which we'll put right there. And after the armor workbench is the chem station, which is 487C1. Oops. See, I have a hard enough time typing on a regular keyboard, never mind one of those holotape recorder keyboards.
See, I got a solution for you. What you do is you
thumbs.
just buy a super stiff keyboard, like Cherry MX Greens or something stiffer than that. Then you can't accidentally press the wrong keys, because they're just too damn stiff.
Uh-huh. Well, then I wouldn't be able to press any keys, probably.
See, I like how you still got this arrangement with the weapons workbench and the other workbench there. You've got your flammable gas just across the doorway from your firing barrel.
Yeah, well, safety first, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. And there we have our cooking station, which we will put outside over here.
Which people at some point were sitting around.
Well, sort of, I guess. Oh, we're kind of clipping into the... And I've also got the mod place anywhere, so I can actually put this so it will clip right through that thing if I want to. But I won't. So, anyway, that's how you can do a bit of a shortcut. It's funny, the workbench, or the workshop budget console command used to work pretty well for me. Maybe I've got another mod now that causes some kind of a conflict.
Yeah, possibly.
But anyway, so now after looking at our holotape that talked about alchemy, we're going to look in our chemistry station, and you can see there's a recipe called Alchemy Recipes. And you'll notice that there's a recipe for Buff Out and another one for Day Tripper, because those are 2 drugs that there were no crafting recipes for. So I made crafting recipes for them. And then you have numerous potions in here. And they do all sorts of things from fortify abilities on a temporary basis to protection from various attack forms, protection from cold, protection from energy, protection from fire, and so on.
Yeah.
Grenade-like missiles that behave very much like Molotov cocktails. Mm-hmm. And the ultimate, which is an elixir that can permanently improve a special ability by 1 point.
Yeah, that's like a throwback to the original Diablo game.
But anyway, so we've been working on this mod, and it is nearly complete. The only thing left to do now is to figure out a way to basically make this menu
Appear when you read the holotape.
only appear once you have read the holotape.
Yep.
And of course, just as a precaution, under the utility menu, you can actually make
The holotape.
the holotape. Somewhere in here. There's a lot of stuff under there. There it is. Scavr Phil's journal. So if you have 1 unit of plastic, you can make a copy of Scavr Phil's journal, which you can then pop into your Pip-Boy and read. And then hopefully, once we figure out how to do it, we'll be able to make it so that you have to read that holotape in order for the Alchemy menu to appear in the chemistry station.
Yeah, so you're not just an ex-Special Forces soldier, or in your case a synth, you're also an analog technology expert. You put the tape back together, you wind it back up.
That's right. Hey, well, we're living in a world where you can make a stairway out of 5 tin cans and an oven mitt. So, you know what? Oh. Anyway, I'm also going to do another little thing that I like to do here. I'm going to make a water fountain. And this is a vanilla item, I think. But it allows you to drink water and fill water bottles in survival without having to have a water pump, because I noticed there's some kind of a weird little bug where every now and then, if you use a water pump too much, I don't know whether it's a bug or a feature, but if you use a water pump too much, it'll eventually stop dispensing water for you. So there we go.
Please, just...
And then we'll do a little bit of cooking.
I need to be alone right now.
So that we can eat. Killed quite a few mole rats on the way here.
All the mole rat chunks, huh?
Yep, all the
I
mole
know
rat
I'm not the only
chunks.
person here who's lost someone.
And so,
I miss him so much.
You want my 2 caps?
now we'll have a bite to eat, and we'll be happy for a while, and then we'll try and...
Don't want to be pinned down when the raiders...
You are
come.
dehydrated and tired and have a disease.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's life playing survival. Anyway, now these guys are going to have to wait for a little... Well, we'll build some beds for these guys, sure. There's a bed. There's a bed. There's a bed. I do barrack-style sleeping.
It's just easier to fit in these cramped houses.
Yep. Well, these houses are weird because they just don't have as many rooms as a regular house does. Because usually a house this size, well, would probably be a bit bigger than this, would at least have a couple of bedrooms and a basement. But it seems like everybody in Boston, I don't know whether things are really like this in Boston or not, I can't imagine they are. Everybody in Boston lives in a 1-bedroom house.
With no basement.
With no basement. So, anyway. So we've got our scrap bot is already done, so we'll have to end up doing some manual scrapping on some of these bushes and things, but we'll do that later.
What
Because
gave
I'm
you the
sure
idea
people
we're
don't
friends?
want to watch that
Sorry,
going on.
I wouldn't be very good company
Right now. Get out of the
You're
way.
tired.
Oh, maybe on the next episode of Bob Ross's Fallout 4 playthrough.
Yeah. But actually, I think for this episode, we'll do a little bit of wandering around in the sanctuary area here, because there are a couple of little things. Oh, there's Trash Can Carla again. There are a couple of little things that we can explore and go after and look at and that kind of thing. So we'll just head out this way and go across the bridge. Oh yeah, and another thing before I scrapped this place off, I did this off camera, is I picked up an item called Chef Perry's Undies.
Huh.
And this is a unique, legendary item of clothing made from the long johns that I made when I was busy playing around making kind of a mod, making, you know, legendary clothing items and weapons, just practicing learning how to do it.
Yep.
So I wasn't really intending to upload this to the Nexus or anything like that. But it is a pretty good item. It reduces, it basically has the Assassin's Legendary attached to it. Plus I also gave it a pretty decent boost to damage resistance, so. And it's a nice two-piece bikini.
Ha!
So we can show off some of G913's tattoos.
Factory made.
Yeah, factory made. I'm still wearing the synth chest piece armor here, but anyway, we're heading back to the vault because part of Start Me Up involves going back to the vault and exploring the vault to find certain things. And so we'll, you know, take the stuff out of these yellow boxes, and we'll wander over here because this is where another one of those little side quests was. You pick up the Vault Tech Tidy Bot, which is the other robot cleanup mod that I have. Okay, they'll grade the screen out a little bit, and then he provides a couple of pages of explanation of how the mod works. But I'm just going to skip over because I already know how the mod works pretty well. And we'll wander over here to the trailer now. I got a little bit of XP for finding it. And we'll just pick this stuff up here. And we'll pick up that stuff and that, and then we'll press the button. So now we can go in reverse, and we can go back into the vault. Well, we haven't been in the vault yet, but we can go in the vault.
Going in the vault all the way in reverse.
Yep. Oh, you can see that the vault door is going to open.
Ha!
Then let us in.
Yeah, how nice someone opened it from the other side for you.
I don't know how exactly that worked, because most of these vaults, even when you go to Vault 81 or whatever, there's a control panel on the outside that you operate with your Pip-Boy in order to open the vault door. Oh, look at this. He's being chased around by a rad roach.
Oh, it's already dead.
Is it already dead?
It died standing up.
Oh. Well, we'll shoot that one.
See, the rat roach shape is just a perfectly balanced shape. Even in death, it can support its own weight.
Yeah. Well, see, I have this mod called Spooky Scary Radio. And I can't really play the radio while we're doing this playthrough in case of any copyright problems, because they do have music and skits and that kind of stuff on there. But he also, the guy who did the mod, added a lot of extra features, and one of them is to make very colorful rad roaches. Because the rad roaches, vanilla, are kind of a drab, sort of two-tone brown color.
Yep.
And these ones are very shiny and bright, and if you look carefully, look at that. See, you got like almost like a little skull design on the back of their heads, and even like they look like eyeballs on kind of their wings.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool. And of course, you see a lot of old movie posters and that kind of thing pasted up on walls throughout the Commonwealth.
And that, that's also responsible
that's
for
also
that.
From Spooky Scary Radio.
Yep.
And it's like old movie posters from the Frankenstein movies and Wolfman and that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
Malfunction in cryopod manual release override.
So we'll have a quick look here, and it looks like, yes, everybody's dead. So here's the original room, and as part of Start Me Up, if you enter into this menu, you can actually reconfigure some of your character's abilities and stuff if you want to.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to play the way that I made the character to begin with. And of course we have one pod that is mysteriously open and all the other ones are sealed and everyone inside them are all dead. So where is that person? Not going to bother picking that up. I've already got a better one than that.
So you better make sure you get that coffee cup.
Yep. Well, you know what? The ceramic that you get from it is useful too. You can make electrical conduits out of it and all kinds of stuff. It's amazing what you can make out of a coffee cup. That's why
Regular MacGyver.
Yeah, that's why it makes me laugh. You know, like you see a mod on the Nexus for some sort of like a gun or something, right? And right away there are people posting going, well, that isn't the right kind of ammunition for that gun or whatever. And it's like, you know what? You're playing a game where you can make an electrical conduit out of a fucking coffee cup. Like, come on. You have to, play with a somewhat suspended sense of disbelief and just accept some things.
Hey man, you just got to build a power supply for a computer out of potatoes.
And yeah.
Literal potato PC.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to eject this holotape because I've got a mod where you can actually make upright video games too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you have to have a copy of the holotape first.
Yeah.
And they're actually surprisingly good. They play very much like very old video games that used to be in arcades when the arcades first came out.
Okay.
Although most of them are kind of crude knockoffs of the original games. For example, Red Menace bears a little bit of a resemblance to the original Donkey Kong game where it's a platformer where you're jumping over objects that the Donkey Kong, or in this case the Red Menace guy, is throwing at you.
Yep.
To try and get to the top of the maze kind of thing, right?
Oh, well, ape, commie, what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
At least in the Fallout world.
Yeah, that's right. They're all going to go out there and get zapped by the... Yeah.
By the insta-death lightning.
Yeah, there's still another one wandering around here. Oh, he managed to get through.
And you missed. Oh,
Yeah,
that's okay, he got zapped.
He moved. Oh, and look, this is the missing person. And they have a couple of interesting things on them. The first being a wedding ring. And I modified this wedding ring a little bit to give the character a little bit of protection. So we're going to equip that, and it helps with our armor value a little bit, as well as gives us a little bit of energy resistance too. And then we can play this holotape, the Pod C6 audio log.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic stasis suspended. This is the one. Here.
And basically what it does is it replays back the voice log for the original vanilla encounter when you're actually trapped inside the pod and watching Kellogg basically murder your spouse and kidnap your child. Except in this case, this person was never a vault dweller. And so what you're doing is you're listening to an audio account of the kidnapping of the child that I presume would have belonged to this woman.
Yeah.
Who was laying there dead on the floor. And of course, being it looks like being a bit of a busybody, well then, you know, the idea being that once you've heard this holotape, you decide to take matters into your own hands and start looking for the missing child.
Man, I just hate it when people kidnap the children of people that I don't know and have nothing to do with.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
This gun is not just a basic 10mm pistol. It actually has some goodies on it.
I wonder if because you're higher level than you'd normally be here.
I don't know. Maybe. So, okay, that's part of another mod. And I'm going to have to find a key before I can come back here and unlock that box.
Yep.
And I think it'll be a really long time. Whoops, I can't carry that. I guess we'll drop it. And I can't unlock that.
Coming back
There used to be
a
a exploit where you could tell your dog to go and get the cryolator, but it looks like they fixed it. Right?
Go check that out.
Because it doesn't say get cryolator anymore.
Yeah.
It just says unlock cryolator case. So you can't just cheat and get your dog to get the cryolator out of the locked case for you anymore. Somebody fixed that.
Dog's just like, how do you expect me to pick lock?
Yeah. Well, before it was like magic. It was one of those
Dog clips through
funny,
wall.
yeah, it was one of those funny you know, like vanilla bugs, right?
Yeah.
However, I think that was the unofficial patch. They fixed it. Those guys. So, anyway, we'll go into the Overseer's terminal and we'll look at all the wonderful entries on the cryolator and operations protocol. And oh, I missed the security room too. So, anyway, we can open the door. Maybe we'll just run back here real quick, because there might be something useful back in this room that we missed. Yeah, this room. Oh no, we didn't miss anything. Oh, what am I thinking?
I don't know, you want the pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, I
that's
want
it.
that pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, well, you know, you can unpack a pack of cigarettes and you can
That's
have a
right.
smoke.
I can unpack those cigarettes. Oh, look at that. I just became addicted to nicotine. I guess I unpacked cigarettes too quickly and actually
Smoked a whole bunch.
Started smoking one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
think
we
you
go.
just accidentally smoked like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. Oh well. I guess we're going to have stop and have a smoke now.
Yep. Actually, I think you went straight down to cigarettes instead of pack of cigarettes. So you
Did
just
I
smoked
really?
like 7 cigarettes.
Oh, okay. Well, Here I thought I had 7 packs of cigarettes, but
Yeah.
okay.
No, you went smoking the 7 at once. There's the big steam cloud coming off your face.
Well, that would explain why now I'm addicted to nicotine anyway. So now that's going to be an addiction. And I'll have to go to a chem workbench and turn the save function off, because I'm going to have to smoke a cigarette about every 10 playing minutes, probably about roughly every game hour.
Yep.
And I don't really want to, create that many saves. Oops. We'll just switch to this thing. Any more?
Oh, you're good.
Okay. And we got to take that rad roach meat because we can cook it and eat it. Yummy.
Eat the bugs.
Eating bugs, yep. Oh, look, there's another one. Whack him, too. And I guess the other one that would have popped out here isn't going to now. So you can't actually pick up this Pip-Boy now, right? In the original vanilla part of the game, when you woke up out of cryo sleep and came out this way, you could pick this Pip-Boy up, and that's where your Pip-Boy comes from.
Yep.
And then you would operate this panel to open the vault door.
Can't do that either.
Yeah, well, we don't really need to, because the vault door is already opened. It magically opened all by itself.
Yep.
So here we go. So I guess we're done in here now, and we'll ride the elevator out. And we will head back to Sanctuary, having accomplished a few things here.
All right.
Once we get through this inordinately long load time.
It's largely just the transition from interior cells to exterior cells, right?
Yeah, that's actually when the long load times are, and some of them are longer than others. I noticed that entering and leaving Diamond City, the load times are really long. Whereas some other places, it's not so long. It's like, 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds maybe.
Yep.
Whereas with Diamond City, it could be as long as a couple of minutes.
Yeesh.
This one wasn't too bad. So anyway, we're going to head back to Sanctuary now. That we have picked up a few things around here. Oh, the dog found something. What did you find? We'll pick up that desk fan, and then we're still carrying too much now. Oh, he found a switchblade.
Ah.
I'm going to get him to carry some of this junk. He can't carry very much, but at least it'll make some room so I can pick up some more.
Like that ashtray.
Yeah, and this coffee pot, and those coffee cups, and yeah, that ashtray, and I guess he picked up the ammunition that was sitting on this table already. And that can of cram, so I guess we'll be on our way. Except I'm going to pick these silt beans, because silt beans are one of the ingredients for some alchemy potions. And I'm going to pick up those hub flowers.
You and you're picking flowers all the time.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? This isn't as bad as Skyrim, though, because there just aren't as many flowers to pick.
Oh, God. If
Right?
we ever play Skyrim, I am playing Skyrim. We are not watching you pick flowers for an hour.
I know. I can't help myself, though.
Oh, God.
I just have to do it. I can't help it. Now we need to have a drink of water. And we're back at Sanctuary, so I guess we'll call it an episode, and we'll do some more scrapping of Sanctuary off-screen here.
Alrighty.
But until next time, I'm Sandman99.
And I'm Rec V5. Have a good one.
Yeah.